grinding this episode.
Grind.
So I can talk about souls.
Yeah.
You ask me questions, Adam.
What if instead? Wait, actually, I think we should also do the podcast. But before we actually start the podcast, what if the grinding episodes are like just super discussion filled with this kind of stuff?
Oh yeah, totally.
So what did you say?
Ask me some questions because it's easier if I'm like just responding.
What is like the scenery in a sense? I know it changes, but like it's like, is it like the time era, and like do they mainly fight on land, or are there air battles, stuff like that?
There's a ton.
Nice.
So a lot of it is like concrete jungle-esque, because like I'm a fan of just I think a lot of I'm a fan of just like hip hop and like urban culture.
Right.
It's a blessing. I'll never experience it, but it's still like really dope to read, and I put a positive spin on it. So there's a lot of like that Ninja Turtle, like that TMNT combat. TMNT is one of my favorite pieces of pop culture ever. So yeah, originally this game was going to be an anime fighter, but I made it a comic, and it's also going to be an anime fighter.
Yeah, mine's comic inspired by anime. I'm sure yours is too.
Yeah, but it's a lot of rooftops. There's a lot of car battles. Everything, there's like some characters with like hand to hand, but mostly it's like fisticuffs. But some there's a bunch of people with weapons too. But a lot of it is just people just socking each other.
Ooh, I have a question to ask.
Go on.
Because I don't know if I'm gonna do this myself. Are you gonna incorporate like relationships into your content?
Oh, I have a ton. I have too much. I'm a hopeless romantic, so I made Nash a ladies' man. Basically, Nash Vulcan is like everything I wanted to be in high school, and I found myself without being that who.
So
English.
Is that why you have a character that's like Nash is the main character, but then you also have a character that's actually based off you?
Yeah,
makes sense.
Nash is the person I wanted to be in high school. Like just the ladies' man savage, pretty much. But that didn't happen, and I thank God that never happened. But there's his rival. He uses water powers, and he's like what I actually am. He's a softie, and yeah, if you know me, I am a softie. But yeah, it's cool. Man, I almost got like really emotional. Oh. That was weird.
I somewhat have a character base. It's not like in the same sense like what I aspired to be, but it's like the opposite of like the bad that could come out of me, and that's like the Scorpio character. Because in zodiacs, like Scorpios and Leos are pretty similar. Scorpio is basically a water Leo, and Leo's like a fire Scorpio. And the Scorpio is like, he's just like, it's like how Blackbeard and Luffy, like it showed that scene where they were eating pies, and Luffy goes, "This pie's delicious," but Blackbeard said at the same time, "This is the worst pie ever." And like it showed, because Blackbeard said to Luffy, he's like, "Sky Island is real, follow your dreams." It shows that there's so many parallels, but they're such opposites at the same time. And that's the character I was going for, because it's like, they both want to just abolish the government, but for different reasons. Because the Scorpio dude thinks that it would be easier to just like do whatever he wants, like all the horrible stuff he wants. Because even though the government is corrupt, they still have to pretend that they're good. So there's a lot of laws and stuff still, but he wants to get rid of it because he doesn't like someone else in control other than himself, and he wants to just be a monster basically. And in the series, there's this kind of like this bunker. It's like it was inspired from like in Marvel, like that trash planet. So the planet, it's like just like a giant trash can basically. But what the main characters did is, because Earth started becoming like, this is like halfway through the series, that's when like the government had to officially say, yeah, there's weird people that can transform into animals and all this crazy stuff. And everyone was freaking out, but because they said that because the treaty ended, so they were able to be attacked now. And so what the main characters did is, because they had family and stuff, and the government like can easily research that, they had to hide them somewhere because not all their family members have superpowers and stuff. So this planet is like just this trash planet, but they live underground and it's like in secrecy, and they start a new society. But the Scorpio dude, he kind of, because at first he pretends to be a good guy and he learns this stuff, and then he betrays them, and like they didn't think he was going to go this far, but like later on in the series he tries to like terrorize that place, and then like they get hostages and stuff, and then the characters kind of have to sacrifice themselves because he kind of he wants control, like he wants to abolish the government. At first what he does, he comes over to now the galactic government has many like headquarters and stuff. He goes to like a mid-tier one kinda, and he's like, you have to get me in this and give me some power, and I'll tell you, because like everybody like on our crew is like wanted, basically like hardcore wanted, and they're like, I have something that could get them to surrender. So then they like capture the family members and stuff, and like it just becomes this,
we're gonna make this
crazy
a
arc.
P-long episode because
This is a grinding episode.
Yeah.
So if you want, you can skip it,
this.
but if you're interested in our commentary, then don't.
Go on.
But yeah, so that leads into one of the main characters like dying because he like it's
there's a
just
place
this
we can
crazy
grind.
thing where
The freaking school.
oh yeah,
Go on.
and that is kind of like the character development in the series, like it spikes right there, because at first they were like enjoying the adventures and stuff, and they still do, but later on it's like this is like for real stuff, like other people other than us could be put at risk, and then they just kind of they do recover, but it takes a long time from all that stuff happening, and the Scorpio dude eventually like dies by the hands of the main character.
Oh wow.
Because in my series, I don't like the main characters. Most of them are like okay with killing, depending on the circumstance.
Yeah. So in Souls, there's something weird about that.
Killing is one of those things that every character has a weird like moral compass on,
Right.
because basically there's a lot of main characters, but some characters are there to build up the dialogue.
Yeah.
So there's one of them is Athena. She's like the one that does like sound stuff, which I talked about a few episodes ago. She can't kill. Like it's not her moral code. But Nash, he's like killing is completely fine. Some people deserve to die.
Yeah.
And there's just people that it just has to be done sometimes.
Yeah, it's the same with like similar to mine, but most of the main characters are okay with killing.
Yeah.
Except the Bat character in our crew is like
Is that based
very
off Kyle?
interesting. Kind of actually. He's based off someone else I know, but then also some
Kind of
elements
Kyle.
of Kyle. So it's like half and half.
Okay.
He it's weird because so basically before the main characters knew about this planet with the mythological creatures, there was one like roaming the earth basically, which was like the this like I forgot what its name is. It's basically a demon in like Chinese lore.
Tengu?
Something like that. I think it is. And the bat guy, the lion guy inherits it first, and he's like, it messes with him because he's not.
So it's like Venom almost?
Yeah, but it is crazy though. It's super powerful because he got killed in the series, but because of the thing, it revived him because its powers are so weird, and it took over his body for a while. He was like this crazy killer, and it's because the main character has snake and lion powers, and the snakes are good with darkness, but the lion isn't. So it was able to go in his body because it's like the snake has darkness element and it can feed onto that, but the lion is like this bright fire, so it's conflicting. So it messed with him. But then he eventually somehow transferred it over to the bat guy. So the bat guy has these like evil like demon powers and darkness powers, but he's like such like a passive dude.
Oh, that's cool. Wow.
That's dope. Yeah, but there's a lot of
Souls is a lot of like, it's kind of like a commentary almost, because the military is based off like my old youth group. I wasn't really accepted there. And I know y'all watching this. That's more your problem than my problem. I'm just saying, but not trying to go on a tangent. But yeah, so the military, like that whole school, is based off like me trying to fit in, and and Percy is based off Seth, because he like helped me out.
Yeah.
He helped me out like a lot there. Now we don't want you. No. No.
Our space.
Are you forced to say yes?
Wait. Are you? Oh, say yes now. Because it's like, are you sure? Oh, it says it's heartbroken. It makes you feel guilty.
What?
So in our series, like when space travel, like another thing is, like I've always been interested in space and stuff, and so a lot of people in like the main character's crew, they all thought it was cool when they found out that there's actually space travel and they're gonna do it for their like, because they have to now basically.
Yeah,
they feel responsible.
There's space travel in Souls. So basically, how Souls works is there's one comic called A Fighting Chance. That's like the main one you read, but I couldn't fit all my ideas into one comic book, so I split it up, and I'm still working on a bunch of them. There's one where it's literally just like a galactic thing, and they're like there to research. They're like basically there's like a bunch of like capitals, and there's one for like Africa, there's one for Germany, but the Germany one takes place in space, and they're basically like space. It's like Power Rangers almost. Well, that's still a work in progress. But I'll just talk about A Fighting Chance because that's all done. Yeah. It's like the main one. I already said that. What didn't I say? Ask me questions. I keep forgetting.
I will, but I want to say one thing before. So, the spaceships in my series are based off of like the vehicles. Like the first one is like this hand-me-down thing that's like barely works, and it's based off like the Cadillac.
Oh
it looks super dope, but it like when it flies, it always just like it's like a running gag in the beginning because they think they're gonna die all the time because it'll just start plummeting down.
Like how it always turned to the right.
Yeah. That's the thing. That's the joke. And they're like, "Oh no, we're about to die," and then the shipwright is just like, "I got this."
So this is a story that
explain.
Gives perfect context. When I first started driving, I'm still a big fan of T-Pain. But I listened to T-Pain like every day back in the day. I was like, I want my grandma's Cadillac DeVille. I want it really bad. My dad's like, that car's a piece of shit, but I'll still give it to you. I'm like, yeah, dope. That car was hot ass.
It looked
always
amazing.
Shifted to the right. But that car was a butterface in a car.
Yeah.
I love that car.
And the next ship that we get is based off of like Johnny's car, and it's like this giant thing, and like the joke in that is like, so with like space travel,
we're always
like,
memeing the car.
Somewhat that's a part of it, but that's like I like to have like kind of funny scenes in between the serious like things. So the traveling space travel, that's where most of the funny stuff happens, and we do meme the car, but we kind of do that, or the spaceship, but we do that to all of them in the series. But the thing that's the joke is because its aux cord is trash. In the series, like if someone you're like fighting with, like on your side, they'll be in a different ship, but you'll talk to them through the transmitter.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious!
Like busted.
You can barely hear them.
So like it'll like in one arc, like the guy who's like based off of Jinbei from One Piece, he's like this like super woke dude, and he like is strong and helps us out, and he's like, all right, these instructions are very clear, what you need to do is, and then it just cuts out. So we go to this planet, don't like confused as hell, not knowing what to do, and somehow find a way to do it still. But it's like this funny gag because it's like,
that's hilarious.
Yes. And the final one is like legit good, and it's based off of Hugston and my mom's Jeep partly. It's just like the Jeep ship, and then
that's dope.
It's actually I want to have
is I named my car Hugston.
Yeah, it's dope though. I like that.
I love Huggy.
I want to have a filler arc that basically the ship just like breaks in a sense and goes so fast that we go to like the fourth dimension, and the filler arc, like, it's gonna be explicitly filler because I don't want people to get confused, but since we go to the fourth dimension, like, our characters can, like, they basically look at the panel and it's all like twisted and weird.
Oh, that's fun.
Because it's like in a drawing sense, so it's
There's
like how
a-
you draw the fourth dimension.
There's a Souls character. I'll let you finish, but this is kind of relevant. There's like a Souls like story arc, basically where everything is like really like claymation, and they like use that power to like stretch.
Oh, that's dope.
But like everyone has that stretchy power, so like it's like arms almost.
You remember that filler arc for Souls we thought of together that was like, they get in the witch's mind?
Oh no, that's a main story.
Oh
arc.
yeah, I remember now. It's a real arc.
Yeah.
But yeah, so for mine, the filler arc is gonna be dope because I'm gonna draw the characters super wacky. Because basically, if you're gonna draw the fourth dimension, it can't be visibly seen, so it just has to look weird. So the characters, like, sometimes they'll look like flapjack characters, and sometimes
Oh, it's like the
they'll be
Gumball episode where they run out
Yeah.
of budget.
Yeah, exactly. It's like that.
I love shit like that.
And then
dude.
they look at like the.
Whoa!
Wait, isn't that the dude that chased us at like when he's mini? He chased us, and then it became the.
No, he was the guy that flagged us down, but I want him though.
Yeah, he flagged us down. Let's get him. But yeah, so we're looking at the panels of the comic, and we're like, who are these giant beasts like looking at us? And like, cause like the comic, you know, it's small, so it's referencing like all the readers just looking at them.
Oh, that's dope.
Oh yeah, but questions for you. I was thinking like, are there like serious power-ups like Super Saiyan in a sense?
There's a few characters with Super Saiyan. So there's a thing called mountain backs. Basically, one of the main characters, Vince, he's like an ice guy, and he's a mountain back of a glacier. So once they get like really heated or like really mad, they grow like their element on their back. Like there's like valley, volcano, glacier. My headset just cut out.
Oh, we should move.
Yeah. Valley, glacier. Oh yeah, valley, glacier, volcano, and geyser. And basically, they become like they look like kind of like turtle-esque almost.
Right.
And you just run and just punch, pretty much.
Oh, that's.
But yeah, that's called mountain back, and it's just kind of like something.
Now,
you-
does the like valley, like, does those each name, like, does that like mean they have like different abilities?
Yeah, like the valley one is grass, so like he can like put his tree arm in like the ground and it comes up and punches them. The volcano one, he's a bear made out of like rock and magma, and
Right.
he's a mountain back. He's actually the one who like invented it, kind of. Yeah.
That's dope.
Yeah, and the geyser one is like Blastoise, but he's a guy.
Does it heat up like hot water too, or is it?
Oh
just,
no, it can be any kind of water.
dope. But yeah, so like because mine is like it's all leveling
there's-
system. Oh wait, you go on.
And there's more like a lot of the halflings once they go primal, that's like their Super Saiyan. There's also Tenor 1 and Tenor 2. That's what Athena has. I based that off of like voice.
Right.
Like Tenor 1's like Super Saiyan 1, and then Tenor 2 is Super Saiyan 2. And then
That's dope.
there's a thing called it's called Falsetto Fusion, where like she just sings and it's like Super Saiyan God almost.
I like that.
Yeah.
So it's like as it gets higher in the vocal range,
Yeah.
it's like mine is like basically I'm assuming your primal thing is similar to how like I do it. So it's based off like the only characters that call it like they eventually call it leveling, and that's
Okay.
how my like main character got his attack names ideas from leveling. But I try to make it so it's like there's still a reason to use, like, let's say it goes to level 5, level 6 is true form, where like you literally become the animal, and like that gives like energy powers and stuff, but not physical powers. But level 5 is like where you're like a Hulk animal, basically, just a giant beast. And I still try to make it like there's a reason to use level 3 and stuff, because there's like it's a lot of it is based off like your energy levels. So there's recovery energy, like, which is like your healing ability, there's like your element energy, which is like fire and stuff, and there's transform, defense, and attack. So like when you go level 5, it depletes the energy a lot faster, and also you're not thinking as clearly, so you're more like a beast. So like level 3 is like the perfect balance, and that's like where you're still like semi-humanoid, so that's like the most commonly used one.
That's cool. And Souls, it's different for like every halfling. Like there's this one guy, like anytime when he like overthinks something, he goes primal. It's basically like it's like drawbacks.
So it doesn't necessarily mean that they're like primal in the sense like their thoughts and stuff
Yeah.
are complex, but it means like it's like a rapid like shift. So it's like, let's say halfling is like they're like humanoids, right?
Yeah.
So let's say halfling generally are like have elements of both. The primal is like mainly the animals. What you're saying?
Yeah. Basically, how it works is it's not like Sonic the Hedgehog where they are the animal. Like it's like there's a snake character. I still don't have his name because Adam changed his tag like 30 times ever. Yeah, I've got to like come up with an actual name. Basically, he's like one of the exceptions. He's like always like half snake, pretty much. But there's one guy called Kobe. He's a wolf, and basically once he gets pissed off, he like becomes primal. There's also a frog where he overthinks something, and he becomes primal, and then it's not bad. It's just it's like kind of wrong place, wrong time.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I'm a halfling in your suit.
You're what they call a purebred halfling. So like you were like raised by like snakes,
Right.
but like all your snake like colony died, and you packed up. You like wear this like hoodie, pretty much. It's based off you and like old Seth, pretty much. Hi Seth, I love you, Seth. But yeah, basically you like have stretchy arms. You can make your arms like snake hands and like bite
dope.
people. And you
Yeah.
have poison, so you just seep in there, and like
Didn't
later.
you also say like the whole body can generate like poison spikes? Yeah, I like that.
And like he has one move. It's called like Fang Gatlin, where he like jumps in the air. You're based off a rattlesnake too, so you can like go on the ground and all
That's
that.
dope.
But later, like and like the final half, he like sheds, and everyone thinks he dies, but he becomes like a skeleton snake, where he can like go in shadows, and he can like once he puts like the spike in you, it like gets you with this venom, and he can like eat you from the inside out, like pause. Like he can like eat your dreams pretty much, and like know what you're gonna think before you like say it.
Oh, I vibe with
And he's
that.
like he becomes like a really aggressive person in the beginning, and then he like mellows out, and he's more like support.
See, I like that too, because that kind of resembles like parts of me, like my referring back to the Indigo Children, like I believe my intuition is like max level.
Yeah,
basically.
that's back in the day. Adam was like a hothead like me,
Yeah.
but Adam mellowed out way more than me. So yeah, and like the first half, like it's basically me and him not thinking and just running into fights. But at the end, he's like, let me do this. He runs up to like one of the
We still haven't gotten a cough.
Yeah,
We should get this one.
Yeah, what are we naming him?
I don't know.
I'll name him Blunt.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, basically,
Let's name him Blunto, because I like the
Blunto?
ring of that better.
yeah. What was I saying? My wallpaper got me really distracted for a second.
Because them titties, bro.
Oh, what was I saying?
You were talking about my character and like the
Oh, yeah,
and how
yeah.
both of
So,
us in
like-
the series like started out hot-headed but mellowed.
So he's more like a ninja almost. He like teleports in the shadows and then like bites their target, and then he can like see their dreams and their inner thoughts. And he's like a troll. Like he's like, you're thinking about that, huh?
and then he basically like tricks them to like do the thing that the side wants them to do. If that makes sense.
Right. I
Yeah.
like that. That's dope, actually.
He was one of my favorite characters.
I also like about how what you did with my character is like, so with the stretchy arms and like the Gatling thing, those are like it's obviously not like a ripoff of Luffy, but those are some element like
Yeah.
Luffy and like
I was
Mr. Fantastic. And
I was
stuff.
watching a lot of One Piece, a lot of Naruto, a lot
like
of Ninja
that.
Turtles, and a lot of like stuff.
That's like basically like because I feel like when you make a protagonist, like a main protagonist, they can't have those elements.
Yeah.
So if like I wrote myself as not a main character, it would probably be like similar to that. So I like the direction you took.
Yeah.
Let's see what else. Yeah.
Before you go on, do you want another water?
Yeah.
All
Give me
right,
another
I'll get
water.
some.
You can tell my throat is dying.
Yes.
All right. Yeah.
We've been basically me and Adam ran out of like stuff to talk about like over our friendship because we've known each other for a long ass time now. But we just brainstorm a bunch of stuff. Yeah, it's fun. Souls is one of my. If nothing takes off, I would want Souls to take off. But Souls and music is basically the only thing I got to live for, pretty much.
Just creative things.
Yeah, like we were destined to make shit pop. Thanks, Adam.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Oh, I got it all wet. Yeah. Want to ask me more questions?
Oh, I was just thinking of one earlier.
What?
Hold on, let me think what I was thinking.
We're gonna grind till 33 minutes.
I like that. Are you gonna incorporate like anything like so in my series? I know I am, but I'm not gonna try to make it as obvious. Are you gonna incorporate things like drug use or things that aren't really typically seen in comics?
there's a whole so
like real crime stuff.
oh yeah, that's what Vigilante's coming in for. So there's how you get your soul. Well, there's two ways to get your soul. One, you can just be there's a prodigy way to be born with your soul, where you're just kind of born with it. Nash is born with it, Vince is born with it, Athena's born with it. But there's some people that aren't like, and they bite this crystal,
Right.
and it makes you feel really sick at the beginning, but it like triggers like a bunch of things, like your personality, how you act in public and private, and just whoa,
I know, right? It's dope.
that's
looking at it.
crazy. Oh yeah, and like Rex is that, and he gets wind.
Right.
But yeah, there's a drug called water, but it's not spelled like water. I still don't know a spelling yet. But basically, it's like, think of like just like PCP, right? Wait, what's the one that the guy bit his face off of?
Yeah, it's like PCP and
Bath salt.
analogs of it.
Yeah.
Bath salts is a slang term for a lot of research chemicals, but a lot of the stuff that people go crazy on are analogs or are like PCP. So like dissociatives that like are not ketamine, basically.
Yeah. Adam is a high key pharmacist. What was I saying? Yeah. So you do this, you snort it, you drink it, you do whatever, and then you become what like the
Yo,
streets.
I know what it should be called.
What?
So it should be like not water but otter, like the animal, and it should be the chemical should be OTR, but then a slang becomes water for it.
Yeah.
So like, people like, you got any water? You got otter, like, but like the
That's
chemical name is
dope.
like OTR.
That's really damn. That's really dope. Basically, you do otter, and then you become what the streets call as a goon, and they're like just a bunch of like steroid heads.
Right.
And
like
they
blacked out people.
Yeah, their eyes are all black. They become like super dummies,
Dude, I know, like, I have an idea for a potential story arc of yours.
Okay.
What if you have it where, like, the military or, like, the government or something, they start trying to give the people...
Oh, no, they do.
Okay,
They do.
dope.
They do.
I was like, you gotta incorporate
They
that.
give this one guy called Jack, they give him Otter, and he goes insane. And then this is when you find out Darius is not really that fit to be to run it.
Right.
And then like Nash is like, you can't just do that. And he's like, it's my students, I'll do what I want. And then he's like, well, I'm gonna tell the head guy. And he's like, if you snitch, I'll kill you. And then Nash basically, the quote is, he just says, let him kill me. And he walks away, he tells, and it's like, Athena's like, you shouldn't have done that. He's like, I don't care, that was a life. Now he's crazy. And basically, he's really strong in a test tube. And he's like, they're like just dissecting him. And he wasn't really that like friends with him in like school and all that. He just felt super pity for him. So he called one of his AIs in. There's a ninja guy with lightning daggers. He's like a smart dude, and he made a bunch of AIs for them. One of the AIs is called TI9. He's like the smart one. Basically, he made a blueprint of a robot body. He sent it to there, and then he saved Jack's life, and he put him in a robot body. And now he's a cyborg.
Isn't that the dude that's like partially based off Kyle or whatever?
No.
It wasn't Kyle supposed to be like a robot or something like
No,
that?
no. Kyle is the guy from the SWAT team.
Oh, okay.
Where he unsewed. There's a freaking guy. His name's Carter. His dad was in the SWAT team, but he died. And he's one of the guys that ate the crystal to like try to become the SWAT team. But it didn't work. Well, it worked because he just gravitated towards guns a lot. So he's like, let me turn this into a positive. So he cut his back open. He put all the guns in there, like a Glock sniper rifle, machine gun, everything. He put it in his back, and all the weapons absorbed it. And now he can just like point at you and just move his hands, and then
that's dope.
and his gun and his sniper, he just looks at you and blinks.
I like that.
And he becomes like a sharpshooter, and he has like the Agent Venom missile fire.
Oh, like up here on the
Yeah,
shoulder. Yeah.
he can just do that. And it's weird because everyone's like, oh, he's a pushover, but he
he's
looks at
actually,
you
like,
and
tough.
he looks at he talks, but when he has something to say, it's like always like a gem. But he looks at you when you're dead.
So he's like reserved, but can easily like fight, basically.
Yeah, people say he's one of the best vigilantes.
Oh, that's dope. In my series, in terms of like drug use and stuff, there's a lot of that stuff. Like basically, so in One Piece, you know how Admiral Kizaru is implied that he's like a stoner?
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of took that idea and made it my own. So in the galactic government, they're like highest tier of fighters during the final war. Well, one of them, he was actually from Earth, and like basically he despises like the main character because he kind of accidentally the first time he saw him, he was way more powerful. He's like, oh, it's just a kid who doesn't know how to use these powers. Like, he can just run off. You're not worth my time. The second time, he ran away. The third time, he thought he killed him. Or he did kill him, but there was a way to bring him back. It's a long story. Like, in real life, like, he was basically dead for, like, a few minutes, but he was luckily able to recover. But and he becomes one of the, like, top tier. There's 5 top tier fighters for the galactic government. And each one of them, they basically all are like addicted to a drug.
That's really
and it
dope.
affects their like character style.
really...
Not necessarily addict. Some of them are, but one of them's just like he's kind of chill because he does like a lot of like psychedelics and like smokes a lot of weed and stuff. And he's the one who he's about to like kill like our like crew basically, and he goes like. This was early in the series when the concept of...
That's how I never... Oh, wait, go on. Actually, we can go to 40. We can go 40.
Yeah. So the concept of the like these high up admiral type fighters were introduced, and he sees us and he had a mission to do. He's like, you know, you guys seem like you're following like... He's also based off Aokiji a lot in One Piece, like how he's like justice in a like legit sense. Uh-huh. So he's like... I see you guys, like, you guys aren't doing any harm, like, I was, like, sent here to, like, basically, like, kill you guys, but we're just gonna, like, you guys leave and I'll leave and we'll not speak of this. He's one of those guys. And eventually, during the final war, actually, he's like, I'm tired of all this. I thought I was gonna do something good by joining the government, and he leaves and joins our side. So the other four, though, like, the one that, like, despises, like, our characters, he's got, like, bear powers, and he's addicted to steroids, because he's, like, the reason he hates, like, he's an Earthling too, but the reason he hates a lot of them...
Is that like the plot twist?
Yeah, it's because he hates indigo children. He's like, because, like, he's like, oh, they all stand for their dreams and all this, like, BS. He's like, just live in, like a tough society and just do what you gotta do, work hard. So he's one of those guys. And it's ironic, because he finds out later that he was one of the earliest, like, people with indigo abilities, and that's brought out,
super sad.
Yeah, it was brought out during the fight with like our guys. Like, we were, like, just fighting the 5 fighters, and because of his hatred, it fueled his passion so much that he just started glowing purple, and he's like, and basically, like, he just doesn't know what to do. Like, he becomes, like, depressed, but not in a way, like, where he doesn't want to do anything, just, like, depressed in, like, a maniac kind of way, where he just wants to, like, kill everything and stuff. But the reason that, like, he hates the indigo people, so before he knew this, he used a lot of, like, steroids and stuff, because he's like, real strength is how you do it, not no, like, magic.
Pussy strength.
Yeah, like, so even though he has the potential to use elemental abilities, all he does is use his bear ability, because he's like, that's the cop-out. You just need real strength. So, like, a lot of the characters, like, based off, like the 5, like, top-tier fighters, they all, like, are, like, inspired by, like, substances.
That's really dope. There is a guy that is addicted to steroids, but he made a deal with like, a black magic guy. He's a bodybuilder. He's like, let me just be strong forever and let me win everything. He's like,
right,
all right, fair. But he made him a steroid, and, like, he gets, like, so many diseases from it.
It's like in Batman Beyond with Bane after the.
It's a one-off. I've seen a lot of people since working at a gym just, like, lose their life over to steroids. It's really weird.
Yeah, it sneaks up on you too, because a lot of people, they'll do, like, the hormone stuff.
Yeah.
So they'll look physically healthy, they'll look buff and stuff, and they'll function normal. But it grows, like, some of those hormones, like, they grow your body, and yes, while it may give you a bigger dick and muscle, it makes your heart grow bigger too.
So that's one of the things.
Yeah.
Basically, Nash fights him. They were, like, friends all the time. They're like kind of always. He was always older than him, but he just got really mad and got into a fight. And Nash is like, you've been taking steroids again, haven't you? And he just freaks out. So he fights, and then he rips his heart out. But you find out that the heart is just a giant IV. So like the black magic guy just put an eternal steroid in his heart, and he dies.
That's dope.
He doesn't die from Nash. He dies from the steroid.
Yeah.
And Nash is at his, like, funeral and all that.
That's, like, a cool analogy of, like, how, like, addiction just, like, can take over your life, where it's literally a part of you.
Yeah.
I like that.
That's what it's based off a guy at the gym. I'm not gonna say his name, but he's dead now.
Right. Yeah, I mean, that stuff is...
Don't do steroids.
Yeah, if you're gonna get muscle, do it the legit way.
Do it the legit way.
It looks better, too, honestly. When you see... You can
tell.
Yeah. There was a kid at my school, he got expelled. You want to know why?
Why?
So you know how people go into, like, roid rages? He was in class talking about how all special needs people or all people with physical disabilities should die. And the teacher's like, all right, you're going to have to go. But the first day he came, it was last semester, the first day he came to school, like people behind me were like, oh, that fool's on steroids for sure. And I looked at him, I could tell, because it gives you, like, first off, his physical
You get a
shape.
crown.
Right, and, like, it's like, he was not, like, you cannot achieve that normally at my age, and also, you know how when you do steroids, like, you get that, like, it's not normal acne, it's, like, inside of you, like, so a bunch of it, like, I could just tell this guy was geeked up on roids.
I had to throw out roid shots.
Ugh.
It's insane. I still see like I saw like some of the juice too, and like a
gross.
bloody IV.
Nice.
Next time on
Yeah,
Denmark,
next
we'll
time
fight
on
this
Denmark.
guy, and we'll talk more about.
How much
our
did you
comment.
level up?
I went from. Shit.
Well, we'll find out next episode.
All right, see you guys.
Bye.